Hi everyone, welcome back today. Today's video is going to be a specific one. It's going to be a BMW f650 water pump fan and seal replacement. This is a common issue with these bikes because the shaft of the water fan wears thin and then the seals stop doing the job they need to do because the shaft is worn and the seals don't seal. Then you get water coming out of the little hole that we saw. More importantly though, you get water going into the oil. So we are going to attempt to solve this issue today. Now I'm not going to mess around with oil drain and stuff, as in I am draining the oil, but I'm not going to show you. I'm going to drain as much of the water as I can, and then I'm simply undoing all of these bolts here, all Allen keys, and then we go through that same process up here of getting them all undone first, and then we turn that to slide this off. That's it, that bit's easy. We're getting the side casing off. Drop the oil, catch the water as much as you can, the coolant, and pop the side case off. So I'm going to come back when we are there. So because I used a good gasket not long ago with a tiny bit of gasket sealant, this gasket's on there absolutely fine. Now this is the bit we're looking at. This, you turn it over. You literally pull this bit up, this bit comes up. I'll need two hands, but you pull that up, keep the little pin, there's a little pin in there, and then you slide out the old pump, which looks like that, and then here's the new pump set and the new seals. So you put a screwdriver in right through the middle, and you pop out both seals. There's both seals. Top one, the water one, was pretty mangled, which is why it won't be working. What you can do now is you look at the old shaft, which is there. You can see this line by my finger. That's the main problem. I can feel it. It's actually really bad. In fact, there's two. Look, that's what would have been letting in. That's where the water would have been sliding through. If I put this, in fact, look, watch this, look. Absolutely no give at all, look. So it's not that I can wiggle it on there. So that's not sealing at all, and that's the oil one actually. The water one is just nuts. The new one will be much tighter than that. In fact, the new two, we've got brown and black. The brown one goes in first, down here, and you seat it with a small socket, and then the black one goes on top, and then you'll find that the new pump and seal are much tighter. Put it all back together. Put it all back on the bike and you should be good to go. Use a bit of lubricant on this. Use a bit of lubricant that's safe on rubber, on that, just in this area. Make sure you clean this all out properly. You might as well, making sure also the hole in there, which is where, yeah, you see that hole in there right there, that's where the water was getting through. So clean all of that up as best as you can. And then, yeah, grease up the new seals, drive them into the bottom, and that's this job done. You've got your new pump and your new seals. Chuck it all back together, chuck the oil back in, or new oil, and you should be good to go. So there you go, guys. I used a little bit of two-stroke, spilt loads, but used a little bit of two-stroke and a socket that fits in the gap nicely, and just tapped it in. I just used an adjustable rather than a hammer because you don't want to ruin them. Tiny bit of two-stroke on the shaft won't hurt. Shaft through, back grip and pin back on, and this part here is ready to go straight back on, no messing around. So there's your setup, guys. That's the back, that's the front, nice new, and the seals are new, so that shouldn't have any problems anymore at all. Last thing that came, I don't know if that came in the kit or if I ordered it separately. I think I ordered it separately, but that goes in the housing here to make sure I don't have to mess around with silicone anymore. So I'm going to clean that nice and proper this time. This is obviously a new fat one, so it should seal it perfectly. Then it all goes back on the same way it should, making sure this pinion is the right way round to catch the gear. It should be that way, I think. And then do your thing, hook it all up, get it all right, and nice and gentle with putting it back together. And yeah, good. So there we are, guys, we're all back on, we're all good. I need to scrape out all of the messing around I did on here and put in the new gasket. Yeah, everything else is on. This is the bit I find most annoying. It's all weird, and then I connect it and then it doesn't want to engage, and look, it slips. I've been having problems with that, but I'll work on that anyway and we'll get that sorted. So far we've got that working every time, so hopefully it's not an issue this time. But yes, so I'll put that bit on, make sure the new gasket's in, scrape the old one out. There's the new gasket, there's the new yeah, and I'll probably wait till tomorrow before doing the reconnecting the clutch, because it's a bit of a pain and my hands are slippery. But generally that's the water pump seal change, both of them, and oil side, water side and oil side. When I reset up this system, no water should spill down there, because there should be nowhere for the water to get down there. So we should be good to go. So we're all good and back to go there, guys, and I think we're set with the clutch as well. There's the old seal for this housing here. Now I'm going to say something. I'm learning a lot from that at the moment. I think I've been doing this for 18 years roughly, and I think at times I've got a little bit slack. And I'm watching Nat's channel and I see the stuff that I used to do much better. Stuff like buying a new gasket for this, instead of messing with gasket sealer. Now gasket sealer is great because it's always handy if you haven't got the part. But what Nat would have done was he'd show you the old one, he'll show you the new one, he'll show you that the new one is obviously thicker than the old one, and that makes the seal. And that was the case here. This has just got a bit thin, chemicals and you know, being squashed. Has just stopped making it do its job. The new one was a bit thicker and should seal. Saying that, I haven't filled the system up yet. Same with the carb rebuild Nat just did on the ZL 600. At any point, I could have ordered a carb, you know, rebuild set, or I could have sent them to Jake and got Jake to do it, anything. But I just, sometimes I've been a bit at that stage where it's like, I almost feel like after years and years, I'm better than that, and that's wrong. I think I'm going to try and go back to basics a bit more, which I did on here. I bought the real gasket for the whole housing, and I bought the new gasket for that little one now, and I bought the new, where are we, water pump kit and stuff. I just wouldn't have done that in the past. I just wouldn't have bothered. These ridges are huge, so water would have definitely been seeping through there. I think my point is, you know, for one, do your repairs properly. It's worth doing. I'm not saying I bodge repairs. I only send bikes out if I think they're safe and I've done them properly. There are other ways of doing repairs, but I think sometimes the simplest way is the best. And just buying the parts is that. I weren't going to buy this. It was £7. I was going to buy just the shaft, and I thought, hang on a minute, I'll buy one of them and all. It's going to be in the same packet, and it does the job properly. So yeah, there's my kind of rant today, and it's a bit of a rant at myself. I'm going to top up the coolant anyway, and just to give this a few minutes to see if it's leaking or anything. The other one, to be fair, was leaking pretty much straight away. I'll re-top up the oil, although it takes a while for the oil to seep down the system in this. Actually, no, I'm not topping up the coolant system because I have a big fat hole in the radiator. New radiator is on its way, and once I've put the new radiator on, I can top up the coolant then, and we can look at the whole system being sealed, signed, sealed and delivered. When that happens, I'm going to put the bike back up for sale. It's going to be around £12.50. All the people offering me £8 and £8.50, they're just going to be ignored this time. I haven't got the patience, if I'm being honest. It's a very nice bike. Yes, it's been sitting a long time. It's had a touch of a hard life, but all of the work's been done now, from that fan, shaft, fan itself and seal to new oil. Everything's been done and looked over. All the electric system's been done, cleaned and looked over. It's all been serviced, and it's only got 19,000 miles. So if anyone does have their eye on this bike and you're watching, I will always do a better deal for my watchers than I will just through random people online. And because they understand the system, they understand that it's not about profit, it's actually about loving these bikes, looking after them, and being able to do other bikes to help people out. So if you are interested in the BMW, I'm in Islington, London. Pop down, have a look at it, and we can talk money from there. But it'll be roughly $12.50. It'll be advertised otherwise with you know, nearest offer thing going on. So from here, I'm going to put the oil back in there so it can seep down. It seems to be one of them systems, it takes a while to seep down. I did say I was going to look at the Kawasaki. What time is it? I don't know. I'm going to save that for tomorrow, actually. I'm quite enjoying these evening bits of work. I also have got down here, this is a number plate light. I noticed the CAF doesn't have a number plate light. This is a very small one. It goes up right up there, and I'll hook it up to the rear light so that we have an illuminated rear number plate. And then once it's past its MOT, I'm going to go to the just very slightly smaller number plate, just to give the back a touch more aerodynamics. It also doesn't have this stupid extra bit down here to advertise. I have got myself advertised on there, Motorcycle Rescuer, but it's within a nice, look at that, nice small profile. It's going to look much better on that bike. So that's it for today really, guys. Very quick video, and that is a simple water pump shaft change and seals, and then new gasket for the actual water pump housing, and how you take the water and how you take the whole housing off and how you put it back on, especially in regards to having to turn the clutch to actually slip it off. You can work a screwdriver in there as much as you want, unless you pull that towards you, which is this way round, clockwise, it will not slide off. And when you're putting it back on, you push it the other way, which is anti-clockwise, and it kind of grips and slides back on. If you don't know how to do that, you're going to wreck it and you'll ruin the bike. So have a good think. I'm looking at these. I didn't even notice before, guys. Look at that, they're bubbling. Whoa, they're gonna, oh man. Oh, and look at me, I'm still going at it. I can see it's bad, I can feel it, my heart's pumping, and I'm still going at it. What's my problem? That's gonna need full stripping down, absolute full stripping down, and black. That'll have to go black. It'll look much better black. Just satin or matte black, and it won't look like this, which is terrible. I'll do the same on the other side. Unless you can buy nice, decent powder coated ones online at a decent price, that's worth doing, because the rest of the bike's quite nice. As always, any questions, any thoughts, any comments, let me know. I try and answer every one I can. And yeah, and I'm going to keep trying to do a video every evening for a little while if I've got projects. Actually, I'm looking for another project, guys. I've got about £600, between 5 and 6. If you think you've got a project out there that you'd like me to try, I'm willing to buy it off you, £500 or £600. I prefer a logbook, but it's not the end of the world. It has to be reasonably priced, because this alone shows you how much it costs. It costs £200 just to get the petrol caps in the end, because I bought one and it was wrong. It wasn't my fault actually, but I just couldn't send it back to Germany. It can cost hundreds. New tyres and stuff cost a bomb. But if you've got a project sitting there in or around London, I can collect it if it's reasonably priced, and if you'd like to see it on the channel, then that's perfect. Just quickly, this is what I meant when I said the oil seeps down. Look at it, you can see it, because it actually, look at that, watch it all bubble, look, and it seeps. And it kind of does that overnight. So I always check this bike after it's been sitting, and top up when it's not been run, because what it's doing, guys, is it's filling up a chamber here, which is where you check the level. It's actually running down this pipe here, which technically I should make a bit shorter, just the shortest, to save oil, but that's not a huge issue. It goes down there and then it goes into the engine case. So you're actually filling up the engine case completely, and then you're filling up this line only, and then your actual reservoir is kind of small up here in the frame actually, and that's where your dipstick goes. So you have to do that. You have to put in the oil to what level you think, and then look, it's still doing it. Watch. See them bubbles? Because it's seeping. And then you come back to it the next day, see what level it's at, and carry on from there. You can take the bike off the stand and give it a bit of a wiggle and a wobble. That might help. And that's it. So guys, why I've got a few minutes, because I have got a few minutes, I'm going to do a couple of things on the Kawasaki. I'm going to chuck in the battery. John reckoned the battery had it, and the reason it didn't start originally was because the battery wasn't strong enough. I think John's wrong. I think the petrol pump having all that air in it and spilling fuel out was the real issue. I think we should put the battery in now. It should read 12 point something volts before we put it in, and it should be charging when it's in the bike. Normally, John is right, annoyingly. Sometimes, I am right. Not normally. So the battery fully charged is only reading 11.9. That's too low, it won't do anything. It should be 12.4, something similar. Ah, there you go. I'll order a new battery. So that makes John right again, which is annoying. Hopefully he doesn't watch this video, because I don't want him saying, "I told you so, Charlie." But yeah, new battery on its way. What is it? YTX12BS. Oh, BS. Remember how this works. I buy this battery for Sue out of the profits I make from doing up the other bikes. Okay, the profits always go on to you, the watchers, the subscribers, the people who you know, comment and talk to me. It's always about you guys. So if you're interested in any of these bikes that are kind of around, that one or that one, not only will I give you the best offer I can, it'll be much cheaper than anywhere else, but also you're helping out the next person that I help out in doing so. So new battery on its way. That would have started, I'm telling you. This bike is done and ready, but the battery let it down.